Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Juko.
Yo.
Wachiko. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Uganda, haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Buza Commissioner, enhancing tax education and bringing it closer to the taxpayers. Many Ugandans have questions about the taxes they pay to URA.
When we come at revenue, they tell us to clear chitenge at 10,000. And when we are selling chitenge, we sell it at 17. So we don't know whether we are working or not.
Understanding your tax obligations can help you grow your business and avoid unnecessary losses. Now, you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotelconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
By allocating 100 million shillings to each parish annually, PDM empowers households by unlocking opportunities for wealth creation.
This program will be maintained. Each year we send 100 million for the parish. If you get the 1 million, you can buy some goats, you can buy some pigs, you can buy even young cows.
Farmers are transitioning from subsistence farming to commercial agriculture, laying the groundwork for wealth creation and improved livelihoods.
This project started 11 years ago after an inspiration from His Excellency And that time I was working as a taxi driver. I was doing that Masa business in Soroti, and he was talking about how to improve household income.
With the PDM, you bring back the money after 24 months. But in the third year, you would get another 100 million paid back by those who got first.
The president's message is a mindset changer. Becoming rich does not mean you should have a lot of land, you should have a lot of education, you just need a vision and implement and start from where you are.
So therefore, this PDM is to get all of you out of poverty. That's why we said 100 million per parish per year.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
In all these years, we emphasize
n'okulungamya eggwanga.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
And thank you very much for being with us on UBC TV this Friday, where we are having the extra and we are focusing on 2 major topics. Now that is the settlement fortnight and pre-bargaining camps. Now these are under the judiciary. The judiciary is conducting these major activities to ensure that among the things is reducing case backlog. But are you aware of what they are? When we talk about pre-bargaining, what do you know about pre-bargaining? When we talk about settlement fortnight, what is it all about? Well, I have 2 ladies. I know the pro word to say, 2 magistrates. Let me say that. That is better. Now, join me welcome Her Worship Zulaika Nanteza, the acting registrar alternative dispute resolution. She's not a new guest. This is the 2nd time at least we are hosting her. Good morning and welcome, Your Worship.
Good morning to you, and good morning to all our viewers and listeners out there. Nanteza Zulaika is my name. I am a deputy registrar in charge of the alternative dispute resolution registry. Being a Friday, please allow me to say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to my Muslim brothers and sisters.
Alaikum salam. Now, on my extreme end, I have Her Worship Sarah Namusobia Motebi, who is the Chief Magistrate Nabweru. You're most welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chirabo, and for our dear viewers, good morning. My name is Namsobia Sarah Mutebi. I am a Chief Magistrate at Nabweru Chief Magistrate Court. I'm glad to be here.
Well, I'm also honored to be having both of you on set, and of course I know our viewer also, they're eager to understand what these are. You know, I was telling my guests before we joined on set, before we came on set, that there are 3 important people you need in your life, and one of them are people that I'm hosting this morning, because you need to know the law, and you need to know exactly how to maneuver, how to move through. Now, in the interest of time, let me begin with Her Worship, Sarah.
Yes.
When we talk about settlement fortnight, This may be a new term to many people.
Yes.
What are we talking about?
Thank you so much, Mr. Chirabo. The Settlement Fortnight is an initiative by the judiciary with the collaboration of the UNDP, and we have decided to settle civil cases, commercial cases, family disputes, land matters in a period of 2 weeks. So we have done preparation. We have called the parties to appear in court so that we can mediate their matters. And basically, that is what the Settlement Fortnight is about. We have some courts that are participating from the Court of Appeal. We have the Commercial Division of the High Court, the Family Division of the High Court, Fort Portal High Court. We have the Chief Magistrate Courts are also on board. Naweru Chief Magistrate Court, Fort Portal Chief Magistrate Court, Mengo Chief Magistrate Court, and Makindye Chief Magistrate Court. Yes.
Your worship, as when you talk about this, what are you aiming at? Why this?
Why the settlement for tonight? Thank you very much. The judiciary as an institution has taken significant steps and strides to promote the use of ADR. ADR is Alternative Dispute Resolution, and now we are piloting two main items on our agenda, which is mediation and plea bargaining. Mediation is where a neutral third party sits down with the two disputing parties or disputants to support them to see their case in a bigger perspective, to support them to resolve that dispute. Previously, or under the normal circumstances, when people bring matters to court, they rely on us, the judicial officers, to decide those cases. I'm now using the word settle or resolve, and it is intentional. Because when I decide a case as a judicial officer, I am relying on the evidence that you have brought before me. Both sides have brought before me. When I support you to settle a matter, we are helping you to resolve a dispute. So meaning it is you, the disputants, who sit and decide what exactly you want out of this dispute, what the outcome should be. So when you sit with a mediator, their role is to help you to see your problem in a bigger perspective, not for them to decide for you. I want to let the people of the Republic of Uganda know and understand that the judiciary is grappling with a very heavy workload and backlog. So we are bringing on board innovations or initiatives to support us to become more efficient and effective. When we run these programs alongside the ordinary litigation, it means that some of the cases that we have can be resolved through mediation. That is for the civil matters or land and family. And then for the criminal matters, they can be resolved through plea bargaining. I'll tell you how plea bargaining is conducted. And then the remaining ones, the judicial officers can focus on the remaining ones to give them quality time to ensure that we resolve them and we resolve them once and for all. Mr. Chirabo, I also want to inform you and the listeners out there that we have been so many times resolving disputes, deciding cases as judicial officers, but in most cases we don't actually give people what they want. I one time came here and gave you an example of a woman who comes to court and sues her husband for beating her, and she wants you, in her heart she thinks you should just condemn the act and also probably caution him, but you as a judicial officer, because you think it is so grave and it has happened several times, you choose to imprison him. And then after 1 or 2 days she comes back and tells you, I have no money for rent, I have no money to take children to school, I cannot feed them. So we want to now have I want to have a system where the public is involved in resolving their own disputes. Even you as a judicial officer, it supports you to know the line which to take. Because if you were sitting in a matter, not as a judicial officer, but as a mediator, and then you know this woman that just wants the husband to apologize, then you'll be leading them in that direction. If she says, I want him to give me a fine because the last time he beat me, I went to hospital and I spent 300,000 shillings, then you should do exactly that, because in mediation, we give parties what exactly it is that they want. We are running away from that system where we used to do it on our side, not knowing what exactly people expect from us. And remember also, the Constitution mandates us to promote reconciliation between parties. So when we are the ones implementing the Constitution, we can't be seen to be the ones failing to promote initiatives that can support parties to reconcile. Reconciliation is good. to the extent that, first of all, it is cheap, it is faster, but also the parties themselves resolve a dispute in a way that they want it to be. That is the most precious thing about mediation. So people should know and understand that we want them now to participate in the justice system by supporting even us on our side to know exactly what remedies to give. If I find a remedy applicable in the law and then you want something slightly different, because I will give you another example. If someone is border, Mr. Chirabo, you buy a border, and you give it to a young man to drive it, and then he makes it disappear, and then at the end of the day you want your motorcycle back, you will not be happy to see me just imprisoning him, and I don't make an order for either compensation or a refund of your motorcycle. So we are going away from that traditional system that we have been running, where obviously we have been implementing the law, and now we want to involve parties to resolve their own disputes, but of course still within the law. So if you are going to sit down and agree on something, it should be that the law accepts. If you come before me as a mediator and you're agreeing on something that is against the law, of course I will not sanction it. But also finally, when the parties sit and agree on certain terms, they reduce them into writing, the parties sign, the mediator signs, and then finally it comes to the judicial officer to sign. When a judicial officer signs, it becomes the judgment of courts. Yes.
Well, I explained. Now this takes me back to our worship. Sir, when we talk about the mediator,
yes,
even in international issues, the mediator has been the issue. Who is going to mediate? Who is this person? How is this entire process done? You sit here, I sit there. So please throw more light on who the mediator is here.
The mediators that we have selected for the settlement week are court-accredited mediators. These are mediators who have been trained and they are annexed to our courts. Then we have judicial officers who are also going to mediate, and they are taking part in the mediation settlement week. So those are the mediators who we have for the settlement fortnight. Yes.
Now, when we talk about fortnight, in my understanding, I don't know legally, terms change. That means 14 days or 2 weeks.
Yes, yes.
Now, when is this starting?
It started on Monday this week, and it is ending next week on Friday. And maybe I could give you a background on how it started. We did identification of cases that are due, that we think will achieve mediation in. We cause-listed the cases. We prepared, because we didn't have mediation files, so we prepared mediation files and we started calling the parties. For those parties that were difficult, because I'll tell you from my experience, I made phone calls to parties, but you would find some difficult parties who needed physical service. So we have also engaged our court process servers to serve the parties. And I will tell you about an experience that in a matter that I had yesterday. Initially, the lady had refused service, but when I told the court process server to go and serve her, she accepted service. She showed up yesterday. I mediated the matter and it ended. And so it is just a way of engaging parties, because parties know their disputes. They know many times when we say we are going to get lawyers to come and represent us in court. Yesterday I told the parties it's not necessary to have a lawyer, because you know your case. You can talk about your case, you can find an amicable solution for your case. And the matter was resolved yesterday. Yes.
Now, for me, an African man who is so deeply rooted and cherishes that, one thing that I've liked so much, both of you explaining, is this is how in Africa,
yes,
this is how we used to do our justice. It wasn't all about condemning someone, sentencing someone, but had an element of creating peace within the environment, which I see mediation does.
Yes.
You know, her worship, Zuleika gave a very good example. Yes, this man has been doing wrong. Now, when you send them to prison, as the laws require, again, you're creating a problem for us, the entire family. The brother now have to pay fees, now I have to do this. In Africa, that's what how we used to do our things. But I'm very happy now. This brings me to ask Your Worship, Zulaika, why now?
Why now? It's a good question. We are not only doing mediation now. Mediation in the judiciary began around 2013, and we have the mediation rules that were guiding us. The curve went so high to the extent that we were performing very well. But I think we didn't pay a lot of attention to the program, and somehow then the curve went down. So just last year in 2023, I should say so, the judiciary top management thought of revamping mediation in the judiciary. And a lot of activities have taken place in the process of revamping mediation. We had the Chief Justices Forum or Summit that was in Munyonyo. We had other many workshops that took place. Just last week alone, last week but one, we had the CIFOC conference or summit. Also it was talking about how to promote mediation in commercial matters. And then we also had another summit in Munyonyo still, where we came together with the clan leaders, the catechiros of the various kingdoms, sent representatives, the religious leaders they were there, Inter-Religious Council, and other clan heads. And we're putting our heads together to see how we can link the formal justice and the informal justice. Because we are aware, even as an institution of the judiciary, that out of the so many disputes that break out in the village, only like 10% of them end up in our court system. Most of the matters are resolved at the clan level, community level, religious leaders. So we want to empower them to see how they can support us to run a system or a justice system that can help people resolve their disputes. A justice system that can help us rebuild relationships that are almost lost when they come to our court systems. I acknowledge the fact that when matters come to our court, sometimes they take long to be resolved. It's not because we don't work, but there are so many factors surrounding hearing of a case. You may come on a morning when the judicial officer is around, she's ready to proceed, the plaintiff is in court, the defendant is in court, but then the witness, maybe an expert witness, who was expected in court does not show up. There are instances where you come and travel all the way and come to court, and then you find that the judicial officer probably is either sick or has gone for training, and sometimes he could even have made a communication on one of the forums, but maybe you didn't see it. So we want to see how can we have systems running in a way of complementing each other. So even just in the court system that we are running now, that's why you see we are telling you we are running court annexed mediation. It doesn't mean it is taking away the old traditional system of hearing and deciding cases by the judicial officers. We want to see if we are running 2 or 3 systems now, how many of the cases should go into the ordinary trial system? How many of them can go through mediation? How many of them can go through plea bargaining? In a way, we are looking at how we can become more efficient and effective as an institution. Because you look, even in you know that we have a very heavy workload. We have a lot of backlog that is in our system. And some of those matters have taken long in court or are still in court because parties have failed to talk. You know, when you don't communicate, sometimes you may even fail to know why you are in court. So many times people come to court and they know exactly what they want. And you, as a judicial officer, you may be able to give it to them or not, depending on whether it is within the law or outside the law. But sometimes, to make matters worse, they come to court when they actually don't even know what they want. And sometimes even when they take long and the matter has taken too long, they lose track. So we want to find a way of how we can be able to handle matters expeditiously when people's minds are still fresh, when their witnesses are still living. So if we have all the systems running, and then, for instance, you have 100 cases in a court like Nabweru, if 50 of them went through mediation and the 50 went through the hearings, we believe that we shall be more efficient and effective in terms of serving our people. Remember, we have a mandate of giving people the quality of justice that suits their needs. I am not saying we haven't been doing that, but it was way below standard, and we believe that by bringing these innovations on board, we are going to become more efficient. We shall be able to, people will be able to come to court and see it and decide what exactly they want us to give them, and we give them exactly that. In the first place, it is going to reduce on the level of appeals. As judicial officers, sometimes we are shocked. A person comes to court, they bring a matter to court, you decide in their favor, but again they appeal against your decision. Can you imagine that? A winning party is appealing because maybe he asked for interest of 500 million and the judicial officer gave him 50 million. A winning party is appealing because she came to court, she's seeking maintenance orders from her husband, and she wants the husband or wife to pay, like for instance, $1 million per week, and the judicial officer looks at the level of income of this person, and you say, no, you give him or her 300 per week. So for us, we decide matters based on the evidence, but also we think through and see what is practical, because it doesn't make sense for me to make a judgment, and it's not enforceable. So when we now engage the parties from the beginning throughout the process, we shall be able to make judgments that are going to stand the test of time. We shall be able to make judgments that give people exactly what they need or want from us. And as an institution, we shall, of course, be able to achieve, and we shall be able to deliver on our mandate as expected from the public. So that is why we're doing mediation now.
Well, I love these initiatives that look at alternative dispute resolutions, because really case backlog is a big challenge in Uganda. But also the fact that mediation settles the dust. We all go content, no appealing, and things move on very well. Now, for clarity of our people, in this fortnight, what nature of cases that apply to settlement? Because, for example, said in Abuero Court, it is you, the judiciary, that are selecting files.
Yes.
But is there any provision that maybe someone can spend? I also have a case, it falls in this category. Why don't you bring my file so that I also benefit from this?
Okay.
Your worship.
Yes, I initially mentioned that we are selecting files, but this week, beginning from Monday, we have had parties approach me and say, we want to attempt mediation. And we have also included their cases as part of the mediation files that we are undertaking. Even as yesterday, two cases which are civil and land matter were referred for mediation. The lawyers intimated that they wanted to engage in mediation to take part in the settlement fortnight. And the cases, Mr. Chirabo, that are mediated, that we have considered family disputes. We have, by family disputes, I mean FCC matters, disputes that are filed in the Family and Children Court. Yes. For custody, for maintenance. We have considered divorce matters. Some petitioners are filing divorce and they want to divorce, and there are people, they have prayers that they are making. Prayers of custody, prayers of maintenance. So just mediating, it's just a quick process, mediating such people, and they leave the court system. We have considered commercial disputes. Someone lent money to another person, and that person has taken long to pay. So we sit with them and ask them, are you aware of this debt? Yes. When are you willing to pay? And they come up with a consent, they come up with a schedule of payment, and that matter is resolved. As opposed to being in the court system for 2 years, 3 years, you're expending money on transport, on calling witnesses, on paying an advocate, and yet you can sit down because the two of you know your transaction, you know what happened. And also my experience has shown that it is a way of fostering relationships. Because initially when these people did not enter the transaction, they were friends. But the dispute has brought a divide between them. So after the mediation, we have found relationships have been restored and parties have gotten what they want. Other cases that we are mediating on land disputes. The plaintiff files a case and he says, my neighbor, the defendant, trespassed onto my land by just a few feet. So you sit both parties down because they are going to be neighbors for life. So they have to find a solution to that problem. How are they going to find a solution? They are the ones to give it to the court. And maybe one thing I want to add is that mediators are not, they do not play a judicial role. Our role is to sit, listen to the parties, and for them to come up with a solution. We will interject and maybe also offer solutions, but our role is to sit and the parties come up with their own solutions. And also, I think land, family disputes, civil cases, commercial disputes, basically those are the matters that we are mediating upon.
Well, very interesting to ensure that we reduce case backlog, but also very important is that justice is in favor of what we desire. Many times you go to court. I remember one time I took a person to court, and later on, when he was sentenced, I was told still I had to pay about 3,000 something daily to feed that person. And that disturbed me until I lost track. I couldn't pay. Then also I had issues. I regretted actually why we didn't solve it as gentlemen. But also I had this anger of saying kabakusibo chitegere. But later I recognized, I realized kabakusibo chitegere is a useless way of thinking and doesn't really bring justice. Now let's go for a short break. We'll return.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, every story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC. One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday, 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know. You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks, Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100*21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, Welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotelconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala, 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that break, and thank you so much for being with us. We are still looking at the settlement fortnight and pre-bargaining. Now we'll be focusing on pre-bargaining more in these remaining minutes. But before we leave settlement fortnight, so far since Monday, Your Worship, Sarah, please share a bit of your experience. What has it been like? The turn up, please.
I will start with the preparation. We made phone calls, we effected service, we made posters, we also made banners at the court, so that those who maybe we have not called can be able to see the posters and banners and know that we are engaged in the settlement week. On Monday, the turn-up was good. The people we had called came to inquire on which mediator had been allocated their case file. And after the inquiries, of course, they would go meet the mediators and set up dates for mediation. Then on Monday, by the grace of God, we also completed 2 land matters. That was something I smiled about on Monday evening, when one of the mediators came and told me we have 2 land matters completed, and the land matters were from my court. And over the course of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, we've also had advocates coming and signing up for mediation, saying that they want to take part in the settlement week. We have opened up mediation causes, and we have allocated the matters. We are also doing sensitization on radio. There's a radio station that plays within the jurisdiction of Nabweru, Tiger FM, and it's also running adverts telling people to come to the court so that their matters are resolved. So we are hopeful that we'll have very good results at the end of the fortnight week. Yes.
Now, Zuleika, Your Worship Zuleika, quickly, we want to talk about the mediators who are doing this.
The mediations are being conducted by judicial officers who are currently serving. We have external people that have been trained in mediation and have been deployed and attached to those 9 courts which are participating. But also we have retired judicial officers at the level of justices and judges who came back to help us run this program. A lot of them are mainly sitting at the High Court level, They are at family division. They are at commercial court. We have former principal judge, Justice Rakamba Mwine. We have Justice Mangusha. We have Justice Nshimye. We have Justice Remi Kasude. We have Justice Mugamba. They are all back to help us mediate because they have that background of being judicial officers, but now they are coming with a wide experience to support us to help parties resolve their disputes. So that is a cluster that we have. And also the ones we are trained and annexed are people from divergent areas and professions. We have the former Solicitor General, Mr. Francis Atoke. We have Senior Counsel Gimara. We have Honorable Norbert Mao, who is attached to the Commercial Division of the High Court. So the kind of mediators that we have brought on board, we believe are the kind that people can easily trust and come before them to let them understand and see how to help them, because as a mediator, you have to first build under trust of the parties so they can be able to open up to you. So we have carefully chosen the quality and kind of mediators that are helping us run this program. So that is it. And then also when we finish, we shall come back and let the public know how many cases have been resolved during this 2 weeks period. And finally, I want to tell people that mediation has become something that we do on a daily in all courts in Uganda. So even when the 2 weeks end in these pilot courts, or even as they are running now, even other courts are doing mediation because they also have mediators attached. We just keep picking a few courts and piloting that program to continuously assess and pick best practices on how we can take it forward. So that's why we keep doing settlement weeks. We did one last year. We completed 237 case files. It was a settlement week. Now we are doing a settlement fortnight. We picked lessons from the first one, which we are not going to repeat again today. We did another settlement fortnight in the family division. It was from 9th to 23rd of December 2024. A total of 41 case files were completed in the family division of the High Court, and a total of 33 case files were partially completed. In a mediation, you can fully complete a matter, you can help parties to resolve a few things, and what remains pending is sent back to the judicial officer for hearing and deciding. So that is it that we have done for the settlement week. I call upon the people of the Republic of Uganda to embrace mediation. Come and try it out. You don't lose anything. When you go for mediation, everything you say in a mediation room remains in that room. We don't expect to use it against you because this is a compromise. You're coming to say, okay, I bought 2 acres from you. I have built my home on 1 acre. The other acre is vacant. If the worst has come to the worst, let me give you back the vacant one. I remain with the one where my house is. So if now you're doing a mediation and you say all those facts and it doesn't succeed, we can't use those facts against you when the trial again resumes. We don't do that. The law does not allow us.
Okay. Now, how quickly run to pre-bargaining in the interest of time? Now, these are running concurrently, where we have the settlement fortnight and pre-bargaining. Your worship, Zuleika, take us through pre-bargaining. What is pre-bargaining?
Pre-bargaining is an innovation that the judiciary has brought to help us improve access to justice in criminal matters. Plea bargaining is a process where an accused person who is sure that they have committed the offense approaches the director of public prosecution or their agent, that is maybe a state attorney who is deployed in that area, to negotiate a sentence for what they have done that is wrong. We usually want to refer to the Kanyamunyu case because it is a very live one that people can easily understand. A life was lost and the accused person reached out to the family members to see what they can do to resolve that dispute. So in the morning, initially we have been talking about mediation, which is for civil matters. Now we're talking about mediation in a criminal law perspective, which now we call plea bargaining. So when an accused person is sure that they committed the offense and they approach the state attorney with their lawyer, the state attorney and the lawyer for the accused, plus the victim, all sit on the same table to negotiate the sentence. I can give an example. In murder, the offense is life imprisonment. They can say, okay, it is true I killed your relative, but let us allow and quote sentences meet 40 years to 30 years. If the person who was wronged accepts that and the office of the DPP feels and thinks that is a deserving sentence, they reduce everything they have agreed on into an agreement. They sign a plea bargaining agreement. So after signing that plea bargaining agreement, they bring it before the judicial officer to confirm it. When the judicial officer signs on it, it becomes a judgment of court. People out there have been made to think that plea bargaining is meant to give handshakes to wrongdoers. It is not true. When the parties, accused person sits with the state attorney and they agree on a punishment and the judicial officer feels or thinks, depending on the circumstances of the case, that it is not deserving, the judicial officer will not accept it. They will advise them to go back and renegotiate. We don't just grant any sentences that the parties have agreed on. We use the law, we apply the law, we apply the facts to the law and see what is fair in the circumstances. Remember now in this bargain, the complainant who filed the matter in police is around. The accused person who is alleged to have committed the offense is present. The accused has a lawyer because in nature of cases that we do in plea bargaining, the state or the government must give you a lawyer. So we give them independent lawyers. Even the complainant has a state attorney who is their lawyer. So when they're putting their brains together, they want to see how best to bring out this case. First of all, when an accused person does something wrong and apologizes, it shows that they are remorseful for what they have done. It shows that they have understood that what they did is wrong, but they just want to have a punishment that is deserving or that can help them do that punishment and go back home. I want to tell people out there that when you visit Luzira or whichever prison, yesterday we were at Kawempe and the officer in charge of Kampala remand said he had left inmates of a total of 1,792. And he said majority of them were 23 years. We are parents. A child who is 23 years, up to around 40 or 50, that is when someone is supposed to be very productive. They are busy languishing in prison. They are wasting out their youthful age. They are not productive. So we want to help people to come out of prison when actually they have served whatever wrong that they have done. Previously, in the criminal justice system, we used to just look at punishing people, and we thought that was all. We are shifting away from that. Because like I told you, the judiciary is undergoing a transformation agenda. We are changing the way we have been doing things. How come we have been sentencing people and sending them to Luzira, but we still don't find a change in their behavior? How come we
become
have
more experts?
Yes. How come we have been doing this and the community out there still thinks that the judiciary is corrupt and they're not getting justice like they deserve?
That's a good question.
In this process that we are running, we want people to be involved. You as a victim or as a complainant of a person who was killed, you are around, and the person you think killed your relative is present, and you're looking at the facts of a case and sitting down to negotiate a sentence. That is something that people have not heard of, but it is happening. We are doing camps right now. On Monday this week, we were in Nakasongola prison, and more than 55 case files. By the time I left on Tuesday, more than 55 inmates, their cases had been concluded. Because what we do, we go to prison, we sit down, we camp. It's called a camp. That's why we call it a camp. We say we are going to Nakasongola. We were there on Saturday. We sensitized the inmates the whole day. We left. We went also to Gulu prison in the afternoon. Then in the morning, we went to Lira prison. We went with a judge in charge of plea bargaining. When we sensitize the inmates, we want them to understand how the process works. We want someone to enroll when they know plea bargaining is only for the people who have committed the offenses. So when you enroll, if for instance you are like 100 inmates and 50 of you enroll for plea bargaining, it is going to give us time to attend to the other 50 who feel and think that they have not committed the offense, but probably have just been brought to court. When we do plea bargaining, it restores relationships. Just imagine Kanyamunyo, we use his case. Sometimes we even want publicly apologize to him because that was a live case that most of the Ugandans must have known about.
And even had many questions, why, how?
Yes, and then the family is saying, no, it is okay. Our life was lost, but we can still move on with life. Let us do A, B, C, D, and D. And by the time Kanyamunyo's case came up, we were already doing plea bargaining. Only that maybe we hadn't done a lot in terms of sensitizing the public. But we do it a lot, and let people not think out there that it is a program that was brought to just help inmates. It is helping inmates in terms of helping them access justice faster, in terms of helping us reduce congestion in prisons. Some of us who go to prison sometimes feel sorry. You see a room like this, and it houses very many people. I'm not saying it because I want to undermine the government, but even the government can be constrained.
No, Frank Baine has already said they're having ×3 what they should be having.
If the wrongdoers out there are many, sometimes the best option is to get them out of saturation so that the community can be able to grow and do productive things. Just imagine if you have this neighbor who keeps stealing from everyone, keeps defiling people's children, keeps raping women, keeps raping men, you know, and then they are out there and they continuously do it. We should at the end of the day all be affected by their behavior. So let me tell you, there are people who, okay, I'm using a wrong term, but who are meant to be there. But we know that those ones who have gone there, they have committed an offense, but they are remorseful, and they're saying, you know, my Lord, I committed the offense, but instead of imprisoning me for 3 years, give me 1 year, give me 15 months. There is nothing as good as an accused person negotiating their own sentence. There is nothing as good, because when you leave it to me as a judicial officer, I'll look at the facts and I'll give you a sentence that I think or feel is deserving. But here you are telling me, you know, I have a big family. I have so many people behind me. Sometimes people come to court and we look at them just by themselves, when they almost have like a big clan behind them that they support. When they have things, errands that they are running that are beneficial to very many other families. So we want to shift type from that traditional system that we used to run in criminal law, where we just punish people by imprisoning them, but now we are involving them to see if even your complainant comes and says, I have forgiven you, we can set you free and you go home. We have seen it happen. But also sometimes during pre-bargaining, I've seen the Director of Public Prosecutions, Justice Jane Francis Abodo, coming and saying, I have reperused this file and I feel the evidence is not sufficient to sustain a charge of murder. Let it go to manslaughter. You know, someone can kill a person when they have not intended. And then sometimes they can kill a person when they have intended. So when someone reads that file over and over again, or even when you come on board to let them know how the death happened, it can help them rethink and say, okay, maybe we thought it was murder, but depending on the prevailing circumstances, this should have been treated as a manslaughter. So for plea bargaining, we are running camps, just like we're doing mediation, we're doing settlement weeks. Last week we were in Ruero. On Monday, we are going to Gulu. Monday and Tuesday, we are going to camp in Gulu, and the Honorable Chief Justice is going to be there to launch the camp. Down in Nakasongola was launched by the Honorable Principal Judge. On Wednesday and Thursday, we are going to be in Lira. We are going to have a camp there, Lira Prison. And then on Monday, the following week, we're going to be in Masaka. The challenge we are still having with implementing the plea bargaining program, why people out there don't know so much about it, we do it from prison. And prison doesn't allow a lot of media attention. They will not allow you to just come with your cameras, move here, do a story here. But I think with time we shall find a better way of doing it. Sometimes they come around, but they can be restrictions.
There's so much restriction.
Yes, but it is for security reasons. Then also other inmates will tell you, I want my relatives to come when during the plea bargaining camp. Yes, they may allow them, but just imagine if we have a camp and we have more than 100 inmates enrolling, and each of them brings like three relatives, then also the complainants are around, it will be a security threat in prison. So let people just bear with us. We shall continuously come on radio and TV to sensitize you to know and learn how the plea bargaining program runs. But I can encourage you, encourage your relatives who are inmates, are in custody, and who are sure that they have committed the offense to enroll for this program. There is nothing that we are running as an institution that we have not researched on to know how good it is or how bad it is. I can tell you all these two programs that we are running, mediation and plea bargaining, have been thoroughly researched, have been programs that we have run for a long time. Plea bargaining, I think, began around 2016. We have picked on best practices, and we are doing our best to make sure we become more and more efficient each day we do it. So that is what we are doing now. We are running two significant activities. That is the settlement fortnight, which is happening in 9 courts, and plea bargaining camps, which we have run this quarter in 4 big main prisons that are housing very many inmates. And our goal as judicial officers is to support these inmates access justice. Finally, before I go, when I go to prison as a woman, I feel sad. You can see, here you think men are very few, but I think most men are in prison. It is the reason you find that women don't have even husbands to marry us. Let people advise their husbands, let us advise our sons to enroll for this program and come out and become productive. Because in this world, no one has never wronged. The issue is, I wronged someone, I'm ready to take up responsibility and pay for it and come out and begin a new chapter in life. I thank you very much.
Well, when Her Worship Zuleika is speaking about pre-bargaining or any other form of alternative dispute settlement, she's very passionate about it. But allow me also give Her Worship Sarah a minute or two for her parting shot.
In my parting shots, I would want to, first of all, thank the Judiciary Administration, the Honorable Chief Justice, the Honorable Deputy Chief Justice, and Honorable Deputy Chief Justice Emeritus, for they have been spearheading mediation and plea bargaining in the judiciary. And I also want to thank Her Worship Zuleika. I was telling her that she's proactive and she has made us like mediation. It has been revamped. Previously, mediation was compulsory under the 2013 Judicature Mediation Rules. It was compulsory, but I think the amendment of 2019 of the Civil Procedure Rules made it optional. And that is why it had died down a bit. But from the acting registrar, Her Worship Zuleika, she is revamping mediation and making us want to attempt and try it out in our courts. So in my parting remarks, I want to thank her for initiating it and making us like mediation. And I would also want to thank the UNDP. They have funded the settlement week, the settlement fortnight, and we are grateful for the funding.
Well, thank you so much. That is Her Worship Sarah Namusobya Mutebi, who is the Chief Magistrate of Naweru, Omulamuzi we Naweru. And also Her Worship Zuleika Nanteza, Acting Registrar, Alternative Dispute Resolution, who is doing a very great job. And I also want to thank the judiciary, because this is the way to go if you are to reduce case backlog. And of course, case backlog most of the times also means inmates in our prisons. So we need people to come out, be very productive, and also we need mindset change. Fellow Ugandans, keeping someone in prison is not justice itself. If there are other ways where you can have justice served and felt, let's embrace that. Have the best of your day. May the good Lord bless you. A lovely weekend. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Thank you so much.
Most welcome.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every